Welcome to Travel Austria Quick Tips, Great Trips.
It's great to be here.
Today we are opening a file that I think sits on a lot of people's mental shelves under the label Dream Trip, but maybe also right next to it, the label Absolute Logistical Nightmare. We are talking about the Vienna Opera Ball. The big one, the State Ball of the Republic. Yeah.
Exactly. And looking at the research for this deep dive, it strikes me that this isn't just a fancy party, it feels like a completely different world.
It really does.
It's part gala, part cultural ritual, part massive national spectacle. And I think for the average traveler, it can feel incredibly intimidating. You know, you look at the photos and think, is it too elite?
Will I
be laughed at if I don't know how to waltz? Is it just for, I don't know, celebrities and politicians?
It is a very common anxiety. Yeah. You see the pictures of the white tie tails, the tiaras, the red velvet, and you just think, I don't belong there. But that is exactly our mission.
We want to dismantle that intimidation factor because the truth is, once you understand the mechanics, the logistics, the dress code, which is strict, and the rhythm of the night, it stops being the scary elite fortress.
And it becomes something you can actually approach.
With confidence, exactly.
We want to give you the keys to the fortress. So we're going to break this down into three main shanks. First, the context on what this ball actually is, why the venue transformation is, well, an engineering marvel, right?
It really is.
And why it matters so much to Vienna. Second, the timeline, literally an hour-by-hour breakdown for February 12th, 2026, so you're never lost. And finally, the practical survival guide. And here we have some very specific, urgent info for the 2026 season regarding
tickets.
Tickets.
It's happening basically right now, so you will definitely want to stick around for that.
Okay, let's start with the big picture. Vienna is often called a city with balls.
Yes, yeah.
Which, always gets a chuckle. But it's a serious description of the social calendar.
In most of the world, a ball is something from a period drama. In Vienna, ballroom culture is a living, breathing ecosystem. It's called Fasching, the carnival season, and every winter there are over 450 balls in the city. You have the confectioner's ball, the coffee house owner's ball.
So every profession has one.
Pretty much. The science ball, the flower ball. Practically every guild and profession hosts their own.
So the opera ball isn't the only game in town. It's just the loudest.
It is the summit. It's the glamorous high point. It's the only one that's televised live for hours on national TV. It's where the government brings state guests. It is symbolically linked to Vienna's entire brand. Music, elegance, imperial tradition. But what really sets it apart is the venue itself.
The Vienna State Opera House on the Ringstraße.
Correct, but not as you usually see it. If you go to an opera on a Tuesday, you're in a velvet seat facing a stage. For this one night, the venue undergoes a massive physical transformation.
It's an engineering project, right?
It's a huge engineering feat. It costs some millions. They remove all the seating from the ground floor and they build this complex scaffolding to raise the floor to the exact level of the stage.
So the stage and the audience area become one giant flat surface.
Exactly, a massive continuous dance floor. And it's not just that one room. This is a crucial insight for first-timers. The Opera Ball is a choose-your-own-adventure experience. The entire building is open.
Meaning you aren't just stuck in that one ballroom?
Not at all. You have the main floor for waltzing, of course. But then you have multiple levels. Different rooms are converted into discos, jazz clubs, wine bars tucked behind stage curtains.
No way.
They even build a Hüriger, a traditional Austrian wine tavern, inside the opera house just for this one night.
Wait, really? So you can go from a formal waltz to a rustic wine cavern
that is the
without
beauty
ever
of
leaving
it.
the
It is
building.
less like sitting stiffly at a concert and more like exploring a palace party where every door leads to a different vibe.
And then, of course, there are the people who open the floor, the debutantes. I feel like this is the image everyone knows.
The opening committee. It's usually around 144 young couples. The women in snow-white gowns with tiaras, the men in tailcoats, and they perform this very intricate opening choreography.
Is that just for show? Or does it have a deeper meaning?
It's a rite of passage. Historically, it was about introducing young people into society. Today, it's a mix of tradition and pure spectacle. They have to audition for this. Being selected is a huge deal.
The pressure is on, I imagine.
The pressure is definitely on. They have to perform a perfect left turn waltz on live television before anyone else is allowed to dance.
A left turn waltz, is that harder than a normal waltz?
Oh, much harder. It requires more momentum, it's faster, and you get dizzy quicker. If you see a debutante stumble, it is usually during the left waltz. It's a real test
so we
of
have the
skill.
venue, we have the debutantes. Let's get into specifics for
Roger.
anyone who might be packing their bags.
Right.
Right.
Circle this date, February
We were
12th,
talking about the
2026. That is
2026
the
season.
night.
And this isn't a situation where you just show up whenever. There's a very specific rhythm to this night.
There is. And honestly, knowing the schedule is the best way to avoid anxiety. So let's walk through the timeline hour by hour.
Let's do it.
Doors open around 20.4. That's 8:40 p.m. You can go earlier, but that's when they open. The red carpet arrival is part of the fun. You see the paparazzi, sometimes protesters.
Right. The demonstration.
It is a bit of a circus outside. Then you get inside, check your coat, and just soak it in. Around 22:10 p.m., the opera house goes into lockdown mode for the opening. You need to be in your spot.
And by spot, you mean your seat?
Well, if you have a seat, most people have what's called a wandering ticket, which means you don't have a reserved chair, so you need to find a standing spot with a view of the main floor. The staircases get packed very, very quickly. So between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock p.m., you need to stake
and
out
then
your
the VIPs
territory.
arrive.
Around 21.45 or so, the Austrian president and government officials enter the state box. The fanfare plays, it's all very ceremonial. Then at 22.0 sharp, the opening ceremony begins.
This is the show.
This is the show. You are not dancing yet. You are watching the opera singers, the state ballet, and they often dance in the aisles right next to you. And finally, the debutante.
How long does that last?
About 50 minutes. It's a long opening. You're standing there in your tuxedo or gown just watching. But the energy builds because everyone is waiting for one specific phrase.
The magic words.
Around 22.45, the master of ceremonies will shout, "Alles Walzer!"
Everyone waltz.
And that is the signal. A rope drops and the guests just flood the main floor to join the debutante.
I have to ask, what is that moment actually like? Is it this graceful,
It is
cinematic
chaotic
thing?
beauty. It's a stampede of silk and wool. The floor is absolutely packed. If you are expecting to do big sweeping moves, forget it.
It's more like bumper cars.
It's rhythmic bumper cars. You're mostly just vibrating in place to the music, but the energy is electric.
So after Alles Walzer, the party is officially on?
Yes, and the night is punctuated by these set pieces. The most famous one happens at midnight. The music stops and they announce the midnight quadrille.
Explain the quadrille to me. This isn't a waltz.
No, it's a group line dance, an old French contradance. They play the Fledermaus quadrille by Johann Strauss, and you stand in these long lines facing a partner, and a dance master on stage shouts instructions.
Move forward, bow, cross over.
Exactly. And do people know the steps? Half do, half don't, and that's the whole point.
I can
At midnight,
imagine.
everyone's had a glass of champagne. The tempo speeds up. It becomes this hilarious, beautiful mess of people running into each other, laughing, stepping on dresses. The pretension just completely drops.
And after that?
More waltzing, the club areas, the bars. At 3 a.m.,
tamam.
they do another quadrille for the diehards. And the ball doesn't officially end until 5 forward in the morning.
5 in the morning.
Wow. 5. And tradition dictates that the very last song is Bruderlein Fein, a very sentimental farewell song. The lights dim and the last couples just sway. It is actually very emotional.
You know, that's a key takeaway. This is not a dinner and done by midnight event. It is an endurance
It
sport.
really is. You need a pacing strategy. Our advice is always eat beforehand. There is food there, but you don't want to be hunting for a meal when you could be soaking up the atmosphere.
You mentioned sausage stands.
Yes, it is the most Viennese contrast. You can buy a pair of Sacherwürstel sausages and a beer while wearing a 5,000 gown. It is totally acceptable. And in fact, it's considered very
That's
chic
amazing.
to be eating a sausage in your ball gown at 2 a.m.
Okay. Speaking of surviving the night, let's talk about the physical environment. I imagine it can get overwhelming.
It is
It's
the total
loud,
opposite of a
hot,
quiet night at the
crowded.
opera. So here's a strategy to keep you sane. Establish anchor points.
Like a rally point.
Exactly. If you are with a group, pick 3 spots right when you arrive. First, a meeting point. Cell service can be spotty. If you get separated, where do you meet? Bottom of the left grand staircase, for example.
Smart. What's number
Second,
2?
pick a main area where you want to watch the dancing. The view changes depending on where you stand. And third, find a breather spot.
A safe harbor.
Precisely. A bar on a higher floor, somewhere quieter. You need a place to retreat, grab some water, and just reset. The ball is intense. You need micro breaks.
Do you just cycle through those points? Walk, watch, dance, pause, repeat.
You create your own flow. Don't try to see everything at once.
Okay, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, dress code. I get the sense this is where a lot of people stumble.
This is the most critical logistical point. The opera ball dress code is not a suggestion, it is a strict rule enforced by security at the door. If you aren't dressed correctly, they will not let you in.
That is a nightmare scenario. Okay, lay out the rules, ladies
For women,
first.
it must be a large floor-length evening gown. And when they say floor-length, they mean it. If it shows your ankle, it is risky. A cocktail dress, you are out.
What about traditional dress? A nice dirndl is usually formal wear in Austria,
Usually,
right?
yes. It's the national equivalent of a tuxedo, and this is a huge, but not at the opera ball. No tract, no dirndls. It is strictly international white tie elegance.
That is surprising. You'd think it would be a celebration of Austrian culture.
It's a specific choice to keep the aesthetic uniform and, grand.
Got it. And for the men, this sounds even trickier.
It is. The requirement is a black tailcoat. In German, it's a Frack.
Is that just a fancy word for a tuxedo?
No, and please do not make that mistake. A tuxedo is black tie, a tailcoat is white tie. It's a different level. A tailcoat has the cutaway front, the long tails in the back. You wear it with a white vest.
So
and
if
a
I
white
show
bow
up in
tie.
a really sharp black tuxedo,
you will be turned away unless you are a waiter. The staff wears tuxedos, the guests wear tailcoats.
Ouch. Okay, this sounds like a logistical nightmare if you're just traveling with a carry-on.
Oh, it is. This is not an event for improvisation. If you are flying in, do not hope to just find something. Most guests, even locals, rent. There are fantastic rental houses in Vienna, but you need to book that appointment weeks, if not months, in advance.
So you get fitted, you pick it up the day before,
Exactly.
return it the
Renting
day
is the
after.
standard for travelers.
And yet a survival tip about shoes.
The most important tip of the night, shoes. You will be on your feet for 6 or 7 hours.
So the stilettos might be a bad call.
Comfort is so much more important than vanity here. Your feet are hidden under the gown anyway. Wear shoes you can actually stand in. If your feet hurt by 11, your night is ruined.
And for the men?
Patent leather shoes. They have zero support. I highly recommend sneaking some gel insoles.
A great tip. Okay, let's get to the nitty-gritty. Tickets for the 2026 season. How does one actually get in? I've heard it is sold out years
It is difficult, I
in
won't
advance.
lie. Tickets are sold only through the Opera Ball office. No other official points of sale exist.
So any third-party site is a risk.
A huge risk. And for 2026, the main sale, the lottery happened way back in July 2025.
Long gone. Let's talk prices.
For
Just so people know
2026,
the
a
ballpark.
basic entrance ticket is 410.
And that's just to get in the door. No
Correct.
fees.
Just walking in, if you want a reserved table seat, you are looking at roughly 640 total.
And the boxes are astronomical.
Tens of thousands, yes, those are for corporations.
So 410 is the entry price. Yeah. But, and here is the really important part.
No, there is a
for
backdoor, an
anyone
official
listening
one.
right now,
There is an
tell us.
official
Since today
consignment
is
exchange
January
for return
31st,
tickets. It opens on February 2nd at
2026,
10 o'clock a.m.
all
Vienna
hope
time.
is not lost. That is just a couple of days from now.
Exactly. This is the platform run by the Opera House where people return tickets they can't use. Availability changes minute by minute. If you are desperate to go this year, you need to be refreshing that site on February 2nd.
This is a huge tip. Okay, but let's say you don't get a ticket or you just don't want to wear a tailcoat. There is a smart alternative that almost no travelers
The dress
know
rehearsal,
about,
the general
right?
probe, yes.
What's that?
It's held the day before the ball. It's a ticketed event. You sit in the normal theater seats and you watch the entire opening ceremony, the opera singers, the ballet, the debutantes.
Did you get the whole show?
Without the chaos and, crucially, without the dress code. You can
No
go in jeans and a
tailcoats.
sweater. It is brilliant for travelers who want the visual experience and the wow factor of the venue, but not the hassle or expense of the full ball.
That is such a good hack. But even if you don't go to either, just being in Vienna that week is special, isn't
It really is. The city has a specific buzz. You see people carrying garment bags, you see limousines everywhere. The area around the opera is electric on the night of the ball.
So you can partake in the vibe without a ticket.
Absolutely. My suggestion, making your own Vienna night out, go to a concert, have a nice dinner, and then just walk past the opera house around 9 p.m., see the lights, watch the guests arrive. It's a great experience.
I love that. Now, for the people who do get tickets, what about behavior? How do you not look
It's simpler
like a
than people
tourist?
think. Rule 1, dress exactly as required. If you get the clothes right, you are 90% of the way there.
And rule 2.
Don't treat the ballroom like a theme park. It's tempting to stop everywhere and take selfies, but the staircases are narrow and crowded. You have to move with the flow.
And the dancing, I feel like that is the biggest anxiety point.
You know, you won't ruin international relations. The floor is so crowded that even the experts can't really dance properly. You are mostly just swaying.
So perfection is not required.
Not at all. The Viennese approach is a bit more relaxed, Gemütlichkeit. If you bump into someone, you smile, apologize, and keep going. Just feel the 1, 2, 3 rhythm and enjoy the moment.
Just be in it.
Exactly, and keep your evening flexible. Don't overschedule yourself. The best moments are the spontaneous ones.
It really does sound like a world of its own.
It is. The Vienna Opera Ball is Vienna performing its identity. It is music, elegance, ritual, all wrapped up into one very long, very beautiful thing.
Well, whether you're planning to be there on February 12th, or just watching from home, or maybe aiming for the 2027 lottery, I feel like we have a much better map of what this event actually
is accessible, if you just know the rules.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up our deep dive. If you found this helpful, follow the show. We love digging into these kinds of travel
Safe travels,
experiences
everyone, and alles
to
weiter.
help you find. Thanks for listening to Travel Austria Quick Tips. Great trips, and see you soon at the Opera Ball in Vienna.